Let's get this party started.
Coverage tight, spotlight on tomorrow. Who you with? Trust, you'll be delighted that you followed. At Phirst Contention, the invention. We debate sports, of course we should mention. What's that? We cover games, we don't play suspensions. We 100, so if your star's missing, we let you know your squad surely gone fishing. We never fish though, no, not our motto. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Phirst Contention. It's been a while. Football season is coming to an end and it's getting even more excited as the playoffs are about to begin. And I am coming to you from a new location. I'm actually in Minneapolis now, sitting here close by with my buddy, my LB, my bro, Mr. Marvin Banks. How you doing, sir?
I said, hola, senors and senoritas.
Yep, he's still saying that. And we're going to let Mr. Ty Sosina actually have a few words to say and debate on this round of Phirst Contention. How you doing, sir?
Salutations. I know y'all got, plans in the back of your heads for this. But, it's good. I'm about to drop some knowledge bombs on you suckers. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it in. All right. As you noticed, it was an exciting weekend of football this past weekend. Unfortunately for me, I didn't get to see most of the games because I was traveling to Minnesota. But I heard some crazy things happen, some last-minute things, people coming into the playoffs. And now that the playoff picture is finally formed, we have in the AFC, we have Denver, New England, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Kansas City, and San Diego all made the playoffs. In the NFC, we have Seattle, we have Carolina, Philadelphia, Green Bay, San Francisco, and the New Orleans Saints. Wow. Who would have thought some of these teams made it to the playoffs, especially a team like the Chargers? Guys, what are your thoughts on the playoff picture as it looks as of right now? Ty, we'll start with you.
I mean, it's exciting. First, bravo. Divisional matchups at the end of the season are so exciting, especially with so many we're playing in. But, let's talk about the Chargers, a team that everyone has given no support, finally making it. Let's talk about the Panthers finally making it. Another team, you see Cam, after losing all these close games, he's finally pulling out really close games and, relying on his defense and not making as much plays. Those teams I really got my eyes on as well as the Eagles. But it's gearing up to be a good playoffs. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it should be exciting. Some surprising teams, some surprising hot teams. Congratulations to Cam Newton, got the number 2 seed in the playoffs, get the first week bye. So, we'll see what that does for him as he has a home game coming up in the following week. So, Marv, what are your thoughts?
I just have to piggyback off of what you guys said. Cam Newton might have a coming out party this playoffs since it is his first time in tasting the postseason. Nick Foles can also have a coming out party too as well since it's his first time. But when you look at the NFC, you look at the AFC, you look at it as two separate different entities. The NFC is so much of the dominant conference, so much of the harder conference to get through and make it over there to New York for the Super Bowl. But you look at the AFC, and it's so many teams that you look at and say, I don't like this team. I don't like this team. I don't like that team. So it's very compelling when you see the NFC so strong and the AFC a little bit weaker when you want to try and make a run at the postseason. A right team can make it over there. So you wouldn't be surprised if a 6 seed like the Chargers or a 3 seed like the Bengals or somebody like the Colts make it to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, team can go on a hot run, and you never know what's going to happen. So let's get straight into these matchups. Obviously, with Denver and New England, they have first week buys, so they'll be awaiting some of the winners in the AFC playoff picture wild card weekend. And Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers, they have a bye in the NFC, so they'll be doing the same. So for our first games, on Saturday, we have a number 5 seed Kansas City Chiefs versus number 4 seed Indianapolis Colts, and we also have the 6 seed New Orleans Saints versus the 3 seed Philadelphia Eagles. What do you guys think is going to happen on that Saturday? Marv, we'll start with you.
That Saturday is very interesting because you have a rematch of a couple of weeks ago with the Chiefs and the Colts that just recently played, and the Colts went over to Arrowhead Stadium and laid the smacketh down on the Chiefs. So I can look at Andy Reid and getting Tamba Ali and Justin Houston back on the outside and blitzing and rushing the Colts all day. I'm picking the Chiefs to go into Indianapolis to beat them. The offensive line is struggling without Reggie Wayne on the outside. The offense is not very explosive enough outside of T.Y. Hilton. And their defense, which has improved, I think Kansas City ball-controlling offense will let them move ahead. And when you think about the next matchup, New Orleans is leaving that Superdome and coming up north where it's going to be cold and frigid and rainy. Look out for Shady McCoy to have a power-hungry, eat it up, chomp it up, coming out party type of day. I'm picking the home team, Eagles and Chiefs, to win on Saturday.
Shady McCoy doing his little dance like that. Ty, what you think?
What Mar said as far as the Chiefs and Colts game is concerned, you don't just come into Arrowhead and do that. So we're talking about a Chiefs team that's rested all their starters, and you can't just put your foot on acceleration and speed through the season. You got to have your down patch. So when KC went on that loser streak, that was the down patch. We're talking about a team that nearly beat this new 6th seed in the Chargers with a bunch of backups. So they're ready. They've got revenge on their mind. I think it's going to be all KC, and they're going to show Indianapolis who the dominant team is. And as far as the NFC is concerned, as much as I love me some Drew Brees, I think he is the man. I would love to say that he could go on and take it, but you see Shady McCoy, who honestly is runner-up for MVP, and I think he cannot be stopped, although that defense is better and improved with the loss of Vaccaro and them taking a step back lately. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair, but you know how Jekyll and Hyde New Orleans does. I'm not sure which one Jekyll or Hyde, but they're going to be bad in Philadelphia. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. That's for sure. New Orleans, they're high power, but like you said, they're not too good on the road. But it's the playoffs, so they have to bring the A game. We'll see what happens on Saturday. But let's go to the Sunday matchups. So on Sunday, the first game we have is the 6th seed San Diego Chargers go to Cincinnati, the 3 seed, to play against the Bengals. That should be an exciting game because San Diego snuck into the playoffs last minute, and they look like a hot team right now. Also, Sunday night, primetime game, you have the San Francisco 49ers visiting the barely making it into, but thanks to Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers up in Lambeau Field. That should be a cold one for the 49ers, but if anything, it should be a test to see if they can go on the road, play in the cold, and see if that can be something for them to go to the Super Bowl. Hey, did a little rhyme there. Anyway, Ty, let's go with you. What do you think about these matchups?
All right, let's start with Cincy. We're talking about a Chargers team, but you don't give a lot of chance, but especially facing a team in Cincinnati who was basically very, very tough to beat at home, I like their chances. I actually do like their chances. Mike McCoy, the offensive, the new head coach, he's got the offense rolling. You can say what you want about Phillip Rivers last year, but this year he's been clutch, and he's been leading them down the field, not to mention all the injuries that Cincinnati has on the back end. Nevertheless, I still pick Cincinnati to win that game. And then as far as, the 49er game, I see Kaepernick reverting back to that week 1 Joe Montana, Steve Young hybrid performer. He is just carving and carving and carving, and Gore is just running and running and running. You remember Rhino from WWE? It's gonna be Gore, score all day long, and I see the 49ers taking that one easy. I mean, props to A-Rod, but 49ers gonna go there and show you what.
Nice. I know, Marv, you're feeling kind of salty about that. So what do you got to say?
Before I address the slander, the disrespect, the utmost, utterly atrocious thing that I've heard today, let's start with San Diego and Cincinnati. This, once again, is another rematch of the AFC teams, and I think that even though that Cincinnati beat San Diego earlier, it comes down to who can you trust? Do I really trust Andy Dalton and Marvin Lewis? They haven't won a playoff game in Marvin Lewis' tenure. Who do you really trust? Phillip Rivers has reverted back to his old self where he was throwing touchdown passes and not interceptions. I can't trust Cincinnati. Even though I love their talent, I can't trust them. And until I see something different, I'm going to go with the road team. I'm going to go with San Diego in a close one. And let's talk about Mr. Discount Double Check himself as he defeated the Chicago the Chicago Bears.
The Chicago Cowboys. Wow.
And taking over the NFC Championship, NFC North. Let's discuss how he came back from his broken collarbone. He struggled in the first half, but showed why he is Stephen A. Smith's favorite line. The bad man that he is. And anytime that you have that bad man, Aaron Rodgers back there, you always have a chance to always win. So, yes, I'm going to give Green Bay a chance. I don't want to give them. They don't have anything to lose. They're playing with house money. They're playing with the Detroit Lions money. They're playing with the Chicago Bears money. Because, to be honest, they shouldn't even be in this position. They tied with the Vikings. I thought any team that tied with the Vikings should automatically be disqualified from playoffs. But since you tied with them and Detroit chokes and, well, Jay Cutler is 1-9 against Green Bay, you know what's going to get ready to happen. Aaron Rodgers can get on a nice little hot roll. Let Kaepernick come up back to his hometown state. We'll take that. Yes, he performed admirably week one. It was with his throwing. Frank Gore didn't do anything rushing the football. It was Kaepernick throwing the football. So we'll see when they come up to Lambeau, when they come up to playoff time. I'm taking Green Bay in a close one in this one.
Well, there you have it. The Wisconsin native, Milwaukee-born Marvin Banks is riding and dying with the Green Bay Packers.
Discount double check!
But we shall see. It should be an interesting weekend, wild card weekend. Should be some exciting games, so make sure you tune in, and we'll be back talking about some different things about the next playoff matchups coming the following week. But real quick, guys, this is Black Monday. As you know, some coaches have been fired. Leslie Frazier is gone. Mike Shanahan is gone. The Browns fired their coach. I forgot his name, but they fired him in his first year there. What are you guys' thoughts? Ty, make it quick.
I think that somebody said this earlier, so I won't take credit for it on Twitter. But the Cleveland Browns head coach Rod Chud, because I can't say his last name, was the longest intern coach that the NFL season has ever had, because he got fired after one season, and I thought that was absolutely abysmal for Cleveland to fire him after one season. If you wanted to go after Chip Kelly and you didn't get him, you shouldn't try to find a Chip Kelly replacement. But I do think that two jobs are the most intriguing jobs out there. That has to be Houston and Detroit. Within Houston, you're going to have the number one overall pick, which is probably going to be Bridgewater. You already have a team that's already in place for him to already succeed. And with Detroit, you already have all the pieces in there to make it to contend for the NFC North, and also contend in the NFC as well, with the best receiver, most dynamic running back, and a dominant defensive front four. So those two jobs are the most intriguing. If they can find the right guys, they could definitely turn around those two franchises.
Interesting. Ty.
I echo all your sentiments about Chudzinski, especially when you realize that Hoyer went down and all the quarterbacks he was playing with. It just wasn't fair. And you had an excellent defense. If you can just get a little bit from your offense, you're good. As far as your best openings, I mean, I would like to say Detroit, although that division is tough. And while I don't like Houston because it's difficult to lose 13 straight, I think, like you said, that's the best place to go. You got the first overall pick. You're coming off of seeing what Bridgewater did to my Hurricanes in his bowl game. So he looks like a surefire, sure #1 overall. And few pieces here and there and some more healthy players. That defense isn't as bad as they looked, including all the pick sixes that Schaub threw. So Houston's got to be your first best place to go, followed by Detroit, which has a lot of offense. Get some work on the defense. Maybe Lovett Smith, some Tampa 2 might work over there. For rush.
But what's interesting about the Houston job is that in Houston you have an easy turnaround to win a division. Jacksonville doesn't scare you. Tennessee doesn't really scare you. Indianapolis, well, they made it to the playoffs, but they're not really a team that really puts fear in your eyes.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact.
True. And what's also kind of interesting to me is that Rex Ryan still has a job. So, out of all the coaches that got fired, he's still there.
Sexy Rexy!
But that is all that we have today for our NFL edition of Phirst Contention. We will continue this as the playoffs continue to go along, and we will have our Super Bowl predictions pretty soon. So keep staying tuned. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Just make sure you're a fan of Phirst Contention, and we'll talk to you soon. For Ty Selsina and Marvin Banks, I'm Stephen Davis. This is Phirst Contention.
Ride with Phirst Contention, that's full throttle in. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Phirst Contention. We sport on deals, on court, on fields. The victors, the vengeance, the legends, latest invention. Game face grit, like born for playoffs. Say it all in small time like payoff.